What are nuclear radiation emergencies? In EBAB's ships, the isotopes uranium-238 and uranium-235 are used as fuel. EBAB engines run on nuclear fission, which is a process in which a large nucleus splits into two smaller atoms. This is not to be confused with nuclear fusion, which is a nuclear process where two small nuclei join into one large nucleus. Nuclear fusion would require pressure similar to that of a Joul's interior to create, and would be less than efficient for space travel. EBAB engines run on gamma decay, not to be confused with alpha and beta plus or minus decay, and are highly radioactive. A nuclear radiation emergency would be any case in which full control over fission is lost. A nuclear radiation emergency would occur if any of the following takes place. If control of fission reactions is lost. This can result in the reactor going supercritical and an inevitable explosion. For example, a nuclear radiation emergency could also occur if the coolant system fails. Heat would build up and melt the fuel rods in the engine if the coolant system were to fail. This would release radioactive energy to the environment. A nuclear radiation emergency would also occur if the reactor were to catch fire. Fire in the reactor causes damage, thus releasing radioactive energy into the surrounding area and creating risk for an explosion. But how do I tell the difference between gamma, beta, alpha decay, and background radiation? Natural and background radiation includes cosmic radiation from the sun and stars, terrestrial radiation, and internal radiation, which is found in all forms of life. Background radiation is a measure of ionizing radiation in the environment that isn't because of deliberate radiation sources, and it is not particularly harmful. Alpha decay is a method of fission in which the parent isotope releases two protons and two neutrons as it undergoes fission. This causes the element's atomic number to reduce by 2. Alpha decay creates kinetic energy when releasing atoms. Beta decay is a method of fission in which an unstable nucleus releases a beta particle. Kinetic energy is present. There are two ways in which beta decay can occur. Beta minus decay occurs when an electron is released from the nucleus when a neutron changes into an electron and proton. Beta plus decay, what we use here at EBAB, is when a positron is released from the nucleus when a proton changes into a positron and neutron. Gamma decay is what we rely on in our engines. Gamma decay is when the nucleus of a cesium-137 isotope emits energy in the form of a high-energy electromagnetic wave, or a gamma ray, to become more stable. During fission, mass number and atomic number remain constant. Gamma rays are hazardous to human tissue, and the half-life of an isotope going through gamma decay is immeasurably short. But why does EBAB use gamma decay in our engines? Gamma rays have no mass and no charge. They transfer the highest amount of energy when they interact with matter. In EBAB's engines, gamma rays contribute to the radiation levels near the reactor vessel. Because EBAB employees are not normally permitted to be present near the engine's vessel during operation, danger levels are not too high. How to be safe during refueling? During refueling, fuel is removed and added to the reactor vessel. All interactions with radioactive fuel is to be done while the ship's vessels are submerged in water to maintain cooling. Keep in mind, while alpha decay and beta decay may be used in other areas of an EBAB ship, gamma decay is present in the engines. This means that it's important to wear your ATEC radiation-resistant suit at all times when interacting with rooms labeled engineering or when refueling. After entering the engineering room, double-check airlocks. Release of radiation would result in termination. Stay in contact with navigations. Your job is to monitor the fuel gauge as the ship pulls into station. Now you may be asking, what could go wrong with all of these safety precautions in place? Well, while we strive for safety here at EBAB, unfortunately there is a history of occasional nuclear radiation emergencies. It's very important to us that all of our employees understand the 6 steps to surviving and keeping control under a nuclear radiation emergency. All EBAB employees are to follow the 6 steps of SHEFTA in case of a nuclear or radioactive leak emergency. Suit up! Apply ATEX suit immediately if not already applied. ATEX suit features a blend of lead, renewable polymethyl methacrylate, and nylon 10, 11, and 12 to almost completely protect a human being from exposure to radiation. This simple action could save your life. Lead features very densely packed atoms, making it difficult for radiation to penetrate. Hinder the radioactive hazard. If possible, slow or even completely stop the radioactive leak using lead sheets. Use any other radioactive resistant materials necessary to neutralize radioactivity. Be sure the engine is not operating. If the engine is operating, skip step H and move on to step E. Evade the area. If you aren't able to hinder, abandon the ship and travel as far as you can from it. Or, once the radioactivity is neutralized, abandon the ship and travel as far as you can from it. If unable to evade due to the environment, use lead sheets and blankets provided to you and enable the filters on your ATEX suit. Travel to the opposite end of the ship to the engine and hide. Find shelter. After leaving your ship, it is impossible for you to know what state the engine is in. Find shelter in a heavy-set building or underground as soon as possible in case of a nuclear explosion due to supercritical engine activity or malfunction. Try to find somewhere with sustenance and water. Time and terminate. Wait 24 to 72 hours or until safe to leave your shelter. If you find any life that has been exposed to radiation and did not follow the SHEFTA guidelines, terminate it immediately and evade the area. The high energy of gamma rays allows them to penetrate anything, including bones and teeth. They can destroy living cells, produce gene mutations, and even cause cancer. Assess and report. Assess your situation. Count survivors, assess location and coordinates, ship state, and mission standpoint. If possible, report this information back to EBAB's home operations immediately, and aid will be sent to the coordinates reported. Seek nearby shelter until help arrives. EBAB operations will deploy a plan to clean the radioactive ship debris at a future date. And after I follow SHEFTA in case of a nuclear radiation emergency, how do I survive? Shipped with you on your current mission should be enough rations of food to sustain an entire crew over the span of the mission. This food is all airtight and prepackaged. In case of a nuclear radiation emergency, be sure to grab all the emergency bags of prepackaged food and water supplied near the exits of the ship. These food packets are not for snacking during normal missions. I shouldn't have to say this. Take these sustenance bags with you to your shelter and dispose of any leaking food items immediately. There should be enough food to last 5 to 7 days for 1 to 2 people if rationed well. Do not leave your shelter at any time within the first 2 days after a nuclear radiation emergency. Do not leave your shelter at any time within the first 2 days after a nuclear radiation emergency. This will result in immediate termination due to exposure to radiation. Human exposure to gamma rays can cause the following: sickness or acute radiation symptom, which includes but is not limited to loss of appetite, fatigue, fever, nausea, dry mouth, vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, and coma. Death, skin damage, bone damage, low blood cell counts, aplastic anemia, infertility, changes in DNA, and termination via EBAB customs are also results of exposure to gamma rays. We thank you for spending your time here with us at EBAB. Remember, safety is top priority. Anyways, here is your reminder that I have a comic. Link is in the description. Go check it out. I thank you for watching this much of the video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, or just I don't know, but I hope you liked it. Goodbye.